Greetings, fellow primates. Jim the Ape here. And I probably sound different than the last time you heard me. Hopefully, my audio quality is better because I got a new microphone for Christmas. But now that the 2015 holiday season is over and the oh-so-important current year is 2016, I thought I would make a video talking about the strange custom that you humans have called New Year's resolutions. Now, a majority of New Year's resolutions have to do with health, the most common of which, of course, is losing weight. Now, just look at me. I'm an ape, and I'm kind of chunky. Because, quite frankly, we don't really care about fitness. We just kind of eat whatever we want, and damn the consequences. But you humans have a standard of attractiveness based on body fat and muscle tone and things like that. So, naturally, when a new year rolls around, a lot of people resolve that they're going to change their bodies. They're going to improve their diet and increase their amount of exercise so as to appear more physically fit, healthy, and oftentimes more physically attractive. Now, the problem with this is that it's, for so many people, it seems to be such a radical change from what they're used to that it doesn't tend to last. Resolutions tend to get broken very quickly into the new year. And I think the problem with this, and I think the reason why resolutions get broken is because it's kind of branded as this thing that you do once a year, almost like a holiday tradition. And very rarely does it have the staying power of a kind of health scare where someone thinks that they might have some kind of disease or you know, they have a close call, medically speaking, where they think for perhaps a short period of time that they are in serious medical danger if they don't change their ways, could motivate them to actually make lasting changes, because something like that is, you could argue, traumatic. I would say that it's impactful, and something like that could, in fact, scare someone into improving their lifestyle. Now, I'm not going to judge anybody. Like I said, I'm an ape, kind of chunky. But I think if you really want to make lasting change, it can't just be something that you tack on to the end of the year and say, oh, well, this next year I'm going to lose weight. It's got to be something that you really motivate yourself to do. And motivations can be different for different people. For example, my pet human, at one point, a few years ago, apparently lost about 30 pounds for a while because he was challenged to do so with a financial motivation, that if he could lose this amount of weight in this certain period of time, he would get a money cash prize, and he could do with that money whatever he wanted. And apparently that worked as a motivator for him, because when he was making the choices about what to eat, when to exercise, how long to exercise, etc., he was thinking about that money, and he was thinking about what he was going to buy with it. It might not be the same for everybody. Your best motivation might be something else. But the point is to find what can motivate you to really go the distance. What is the proverbial carrot on a string that's gonna get you from where you are to your goal? And someone else made a point to say that instead of looking at just one distant goal that can be very difficult to achieve and require a lot of time and effort to achieve, it's better to have a series of smaller goals leading up to a long-term goal, so that you can have a more immediate goal that is more feasible. The reason that I bring all this up, and to bring it back into my wheelhouse, which is sort of the feminist social justice warrior arena, is to make the point that there are ways of really making an effort to losing weight and improving your health and your body image, that even if you have a condition that predisposes you to being overweight, it's not completely hopeless. And the other reason that I bring it up is to talk about something that I saw online today that is apparently from Tumblr. Now, I don't normally go on Tumblr, but I occasionally see stuff that is reposted from there. And I'll put it up on screen so you can see. Basically, it's just someone who took a picture of their lunch. Apparently, they had gone for a run, and afterwards decided to get a salad for lunch. Just a basic salad. Looks like some shredded carrots on it and a piece of egg, an egg yolk, and some water. Pretty innocuous, right? Well, not on Tumblr, apparently, because someone responded, and I quote, "Hi, so first off, I love your blog and all the nerdy stuff you post. But could you maybe tone it down with all the fitness stuff you post? I don't really follow you for fitness content." And then the person who posted the picture responded, "Hey, I'm glad you like all the stuff I blog. As for the fitness stuff, I'm sorry you don't like it, but I did used to be a fitness blog before I transitioned into a personal blog. Running, yoga, and fitness are pretty important to who I am, so I do occasionally blog about it. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's just what I like to post sometimes. I hope you continue to like the rest of the blog, though." So, as you can tell, the original poster is being very polite so far, and, well, we haven't gotten into the meat of what the commenter responds with, because after that comment, the anonymous person responded back to the original poster with, "And I understand that, but as a blogger with a growing following, you said you're at about 6K followers right now. It's your responsibility to be aware of the type of people following your blog, and make sure you're not posting anything that might offend or trigger them. Again, love the blog, just not for the fitness stuff." So here we go with the feminist, social justice warrior, Tumblr buzzwords of offend and, more importantly, trigger. So this anonymous poster has apparently been triggered by this fairly innocuous, I guess you might call it a foodstagram type post, where you take a picture of your lunch and post it to the internet because that's what people do now. I don't get it, but that's besides the point. A fairly innocuous post about someone's lunch, and this person has apparently been triggered by it. This is how sensitive people have become. And yet people don't see a problem with this infantilization that is happening with feminism and this social justice movement, if you want to call it that. So anyway, after the word trigger has been dropped, the original poster says, "I'm very confused. I'm not posting anything triggering on my blog. I posted my lunch today, and maybe a few pictures of yogis and runners weekly. It's not like I'm being offensive with what I'm doing or saying on this blog. And once again, trying to be polite here, but this is my blog, so..." Again, being very civil, being very reasonable in my opinion, is the original poster. I'm sorry I don't have names to go off. Just the person who posted the picture and the person who is apparently offended by it. So, after that comment, the anonymous umbrage taker, if you want to call them that, comes back with,
When you post about fitness, you're rubbing it in the face of people like me who cannot work out and lose weight. I have a medical issue and bad knees, and my doctor said working out would actually hurt me. So when you blog about that stuff, it's very upsetting to see. I'm asking you to stop doing it, or I'll have to unfollow you.
Now this is getting rich, because they say they have some kind of medical issue, and I don't know how legitimate that is, but I suppose certain conditions could make exercise potentially harmful, but I mean, there's lots of different kinds of exercise, not just running. I'm sure there's exercises for people who are like legitimately disabled. You know the old saying, where there's a will, there's a way? Well, I think if you really want to work out and if you really want to lose weight, there's a way. You just have to find it. Anyway, so after that, the original poster responds with, "Look, I'm trying to be nice here, but that stuff about your doctor is just not true. Bad knees aside, you can do something else to lose weight. Do you get triggered by runners on the sidewalk? I don't understand. I'm not going to stop blogging about my running and fitness, so just unfollow me, I guess." And then the butthurt Tumblrite says, "Fuck you and your thin privilege, and fuck you for not seeing how your actions hurt people." And to close this out, afterwards, the original poster says, "There it is. Alright, I don't feel bad anymore. Fuck you too. Enjoy your excuses and blaming others for your own insecurity. I'm going for a run." And I have to applaud this person, the original poster, because I feel like they dealt with this insane person pretty reasonably. They were polite right up until the end, where they just echoed the sentiment of "fuck you" that was levied at them twice in the previous comment. And again, dealing with these buzzwords like thin privilege. Like, I mean, I don't understand how this privilege concept is even a thing, much less how it becomes this whole like it's a refutation of an argument. Like, all they have to do is say, "Oh, well, you're just a privileged asshole," and then all of a sudden they're right and you're wrong just because you allegedly have some kind of privilege due to your sex, your race, your sexuality, or whatever. It doesn't make sense. And I think it's just one of their buzzwords, and it's particularly a buzzword that they pull out so as to end the argument. You know, it's a kind of character assassination where they make it out that you're the bad guy even if you haven't done anything. Even if all you're doing is being a healthy person and working out and eating a healthy lunch like this person is, that somehow you're hurting people without actually doing anything to them, without it actually being demonstrable harm. And I think that's really the crux of this problem. And this post and the comments here are not the only example I've seen of people taking this stance against health and fitness by saying that they should be fat and proud, like the whole fat pride thing, and the this idea that body image is just completely subjective, and there's absolutely no scientific proof that being thinner is better. But if you actually pay attention to science, you know that, like, if you know anything about medical science, you know that being thin is less of a risk to your health, less of a risk that you will get serious health complications like heart disease, you're at less of a risk for heart disease and stroke, and you're at so much less of a health risk if you eat well and exercise. Which, of course, I know damn well that I live in a glass house where this is concerned. And I have no right to be throwing stones at people, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make the point that there actually is objective reasoning to back up the whatever they want to call it, the standard that being thinner is healthier as opposed to being like the size of a small land mass. Like, there's a point there, and again, I'm not one to judge, and I don't care. Do what you want to do. Hell, I certainly do what the hell I want to do. But the point is that there is a reason. It's not just, it's not just privileged white men who are just creating this system and screwing everybody over. It's simple biology. That there is, in fact, an objectively verifiable reason why you would want to be thin, why you would want to eat less. And not thin like anorexic, not thin like you can see the outline of your skeletal structure just by looking at your skin. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just using it as a relative term, meaning not obese. Not overweight, just sort of, a healthy weight. It's not like emaciated, but also not like rotund. But even more important than that to me is the idea of freedom of speech. The idea that anyone can blog about whatever they want, and if you like it, great. If you don't have to watch or listen or read or whatever. But you can still, if you accept the fact that sometimes someone that you generally find entertaining or whose content you generally find enjoyable might occasionally post something that you disagree with or that you don't personally like. And you can just shrug your shoulders and wait for the next thing that they post that you do like. Kind of like me with these videos. So, if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. I'll certainly appreciate it. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Or if you want to be more specific, you can leave your thoughts in a comment below. Either your thoughts on me and this video, or your thoughts on these things I'm talking about. These social justice warriors and their fight of thin privilege versus fat pride. Or the New Year's resolution thing. And of course, if you really like this video, you can subscribe, so that way you'll know when I post my next video. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll catch you next time. Stay great, apes.